I was wondering now, for somebody maybe who is watching us at home and is going through loss currently, let's say the people from Mathare, the people from Mahimahiu, how was the process like for you starting over again?
The first thing that I realized, and that where the process now started, is when I realized that despite the help that I was getting, somebody offered that we stay in their house. There was a lot of donations that were happening and all that. But the first thing I realized is that we are separated as a family. So I think it struck me when I saw that I'm going to sleep in a separate room. My wife is going to a separate room. My children are going to the separate room. And I thought, no, but we need the support of each other. So the first thing I did was to make sure that the family is intact. And the only way to do that is to find somewhere to stay. So, and I was not looking for that perfect home, or even the home that we had. I first looked for something, a two-room house, where we would just go and stay together as a family and start life again. And just as Dorothy said, you have to go through the emotional process, but you also have to be cognizant of the physical reality that you are in. So despite that we were very sad, despite that we are going through all these emotions, life had to go on. And I think this is the first stage of just realizing that it is true we are going through this process, but we have to go on. Something has to start taking place. I think one of the things that really helped at that time was that despite everything coming in, there was also cash, that we were given some cash, little as it was. Because then there are things that you don't tell people you don't have. You know, you just can't stand there and say, you know, now I have taken a shower, I cannot change. There are some things that you just can't.
Who gave you the cash? Was it the government, the friends?
No, I was, the church donations that were made, some people made donations in cash. So, and we had very understanding people. The first day they came in, they said, this is the amount of cash you have been given, but we won't give you all the cash in one day, because you need to go recovering slowly by slowly. So we were given a little bit of cash, and I called in everyone. By then my daughter, who was 17, was also around. So I said, let us divide this cash among ourselves. Buy what you think is very necessary for you now. Okay, those things that you cannot also tell me as a father that you need, but you know that you need them. Just get, this is the amount of money. I give something to my wife, and then I also remained with something. Interesting enough, my daughter had some girls around her who went and helped her to buy the things that she needed. My wife had some women around her who went and bought some things. I was left alone. I just stood there, and interesting, the men who came were passing by. They just came, said hi, hi. One offered a bed, said, I have a 2-decker bed for your children. Find a way of getting it.
But they say bros for bros. What happened?
So I don't know. I think it's more difficult for a man, as he says, because you're trying to bring together your family. You're trying to fight through this for your family, and you're also going through the same experience. It's also equally painful for you. And I remember at one time, my wife just looked at me and said, you're so tired. You're just so tired, because you're trying to blend in everything together, bring everybody together. But then there's also nobody for you. And I remember during therapy, that was one of the things that came up, that I am becoming overwhelmed of everything that I'm trying to do, and I'm not seeking help myself. Like, I was not also there for myself. That made it even more difficult for me as an individual. But I think there is that need of people realizing that everybody will have their own needs.